What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Viking in the Jungle. I'm Eric, the Viking, and this is the jungle. We're at Benyam's farm, and today what we'll be doing is I'll be giving you a bit more of a tour of Benyam's farm, because as I said, the beginning of Viking in the Jungle is all about learning and exploration and learning more about permaculture, and Benyam has been helping me a whole lot the last couple of weeks, and it dawned on me that I did not give you a proper introduction to Benyam's farm.
What's up, guys?
And here he is.
Here's Ben.
So what are we going? What are we doing today?
Today we're gonna learn the secret to building topsoil.
Let's get into it.
Excited to show you guys this. So what we have here is a moringa tree, also known as the miracle tree. We'll get into that one later. With dragon fruit growing right on top of it. You see all these roots? These roots are, just the plant's natural tendency to grip onto another substrate. But apparently there's a really good symbiosis here. And here are some baby dragon fruits forming. I was really excited about these guys until I noticed these guys. You see these guys? That's potentially 4 dragon fruits coming up. Super exciting. Now these flowers open up at night, and they have to be hand pollinated or the fruit won't set. So we might have to come back here at midnight one of these days.
Always at midnight, and then these open up.
Well, it might open up earlier in the evening, but we're gonna have to do something over here for it to actually make a fruit.
How come nature is not taking care of it?
Well, normally bats do it, and we have some dragon fruits in the zone 5, the wild part of the farm, that naturally pollinates itself. It's also not a commercial variety. It's something that came here a long time ago compared to this one, which is, most likely a big dragon fruit, with like either pink or white flesh. When they're picked properly and you let them ripen up, they're extremely sweet. Otherwise, they taste like nothing.
Is that why they're called dragon fruits? Because bats fertilize them?
You think bats look like dragons?
Yeah, kind of.
That is kind of funny.
They do. Have you seen How to Train a Dragon? The movie?
Dude, you're absolutely right. There is a similarity there.
You've heard it here first. You heard it here first. That's the reason why they're called dragon fruits.
Mystery solved.
What's that fruit?
Which one?
This one.
Point
here,
it out.
Right here.
Okay, zoom in with the cams. That's a guanabana fruit, aka soursop, aka really good stuff for tea, and a delicious fruit for juice.
I love it. Guanabana. Guanabana.
No, we gotta put that in. We got some amazing grape right here. And that was a crew of parrots just flying by. That's pretty cool. We got passion fruit vines. So not the typical vineyard, but we're gonna see how productive it is.
You've already had grapes here or no?
Yeah, but not off this variety.
Okay.
This one's taking longer to actually set fruits, but we'll see.
Cool.
Welcome, folks, to the mulch pile. This right here is the secret to building soil. What is it, you may ask? Well, it's just a bunch of chopped up organic stuff. In our case, it's palm leaves, because we got a bunch of those. And this is organic matter that breaks down over time and feeds all the earthworms and all the bacteria and all the stuff that actually makes the soil alive and prevents it from turning into dust. So if you check out the soil over here, what we have is this powdery stuff that, if that's all a plant has, during the dry season it could die. So right here you can see what happens on the top. Do you see the color here, Eric?
Wait, let's see.
You can see that this is an area where the top of the soils is a little black. This is because there was mulch here before that we moved, and there's already broken down material like this. So that starts improving the soil. So the more mulch we build, the more food we create for the whole ecosystem of the ground, and the more fertile everything becomes. So over time, the idea is that we can build topsoil at a rate that, you know, in 10 years, what we can do with this kind of concept, nature would take 300 years, dropping leaves off the trees and breaking down. So it's a lot of work, but totally worth it. Let me show you how we put it to use. This right here is a pitchfork. This is an excellent tool for mulching. What you do is you jab it and lift, jab it and lift, you know, as heavy as you can handle, and then we're gonna take it over to a tree. Which tree is it gonna be? How about this one right here? So as you see, there's a bunch of vegetation that could be interpreted as weeds that would cause me a problem. One way to deal with them is just smother them. So you know just how if you put a piece of cardboard on top of grass and you leave it there for a while, you're gonna kill all the grass underneath. Same concept as here, you're blocking out the sunlight from the weeds. So I'm gonna do this a bunch of more times until this whole area is covered in, you know, a few inches of mulch. The more the better. Another secret to growing topsoil is a technique called chop and drop. What we're gonna do is use this awesome hedge trimmer, electric, to chop and drop the weeds.
Chop it like it's hot.
We're gonna chop it like it's hot. You see here, these weeds right here yonder? You're just gonna chop and drop. Alright, so looks like I ran out of batteries. How convenient. Chopping and dropping.
So you're now giving it some air, some space?
Yeah, you never want to put the mulch up against the tree. Only a few trees like that, like bananas. But in general, you need the trunk to be clear of the decomposition process, or else bugs might eat your plants. You eat a passion fruit. We got ourselves some agave plant. This is the plant you make tequila from, and agave syrup, blue agave. We use it here as a fence because it's got these evil spikes.
Tequila fence.
Will kill you. So this type of mulching is called sheet mulching because we're adding an entire sheet of this material on the whole topsoil, raising it a couple inches, increasing the spongibility of the material so when it rains it stays humid for several days, blocks the weeds, and feeds all the earthworms. Feeds the trees, feeds the soil. Everyone's happy. You don't have to toil. Can't build topsoil spraying chemicals.
Cannot.
No? You only lose soil that way. So this treehouse was the first thing we built here on the farm back when it was a grass field. And there was this big strangler fig tree, which is the tree that's holding up the treehouse. It's got this round leaf. It makes these little purple figs that are actually quite delicious, and we can make jam out of it. And it's a strangler fig, meaning the original tree that was here got strangled by it. And there's some evidence in the middle of an old tree that got choked to death by it. So because it's a very strong tree that, you know, kind of wraps its way around other things, it's a very secure tree for a tree house. It just kind of melts into it. It fuses. So leading up to the tree house, we have some grapes on the side and some Hawaiian baby wood rose on the left with some passion fruit vines. Taking advantage of the vertical space, we got some herbs around here. And we'll teach you all about those. Got our Barbie. Got our chill out.
Did you build this?
No, we have a friend called Gunter who is the mastermind behind it. It's built out of treated pine, which is what they make telephone posts out of out here, and it should last at least 30 years. Which 30 years in the permaculture type of thinking is not that long. You know, we want to think for 100, 200 years if we can, or even forever.
Whatever. Okay, let's film it. All right, mulch complete.
Mulch mission complete.
Completed.
Consider yourself a novice soil builder upper.
I now know how to do mulching, and I think it's very important. But why did we do it on a pile? Like, why was it first on a pile and then we needed to diffuse it?
Well, we didn't show the step of how we make the mulch itself. But
Aha!
we have a machine that we feed it palm leaves and it shreds it right up into that lovely mulch. But mulch can be made out of anything. As you saw, we had the chop and drop technique. So what some people do, they'll let the weeds grow out on their land and then chop them and drop them and have some mulch, you know, and then the weeds grow again, you chop them again and you have more mulch. And that's a way to just constantly build up soil.
Will it work? I think they do it also with the platano trees, right? And you do that kind of with the papaya trees as well? You chop them down and just leave them on the ground? Or is it something different?
Well, bananas only, most people don't know, they only produce one bunch of bananas and then you chop down the tree. There's some other techniques, you know, you don't have to chop it down, but it's common practice to chop it up and turn it into mulch for the other plants.
Right.
So they do, in a sense, build up topsoil, but it's not in the same way that we are. We can build up a lot more topsoil faster, you know. Yeah. We can find the information somewhere on Google that how long does it take for natural soil to build up, but from what I understand, it's like 1 centimeter every 10 years just from leaves falling on the ground.
Crazy.
So here we go and do 10 years of work in one shot.
How is that combined with, is this the stuff you combine with compost, for example, or what's the difference?
Compost is something really good for growing vegetables in, and so that's the kind of stuff you want to put in pots, especially to grow, you know, the stuff that you want to end up in a salad.
Okay.
But even that should be mulched so that the sun doesn't, you know, cook up that soil so much.
Yeah.
And so the humidity stays for longer so you can water less frequently.
Yeah. So you have, and you also told me to put dead leaves underneath.
Well, in a pot,
yeah.
that could act as a good way to promote drainage, and the bottom roots will end up coiling down there as opposed to getting root bound in the same way they would if they would just be pure soil all
What's
the way
root
down.
bound?
Root bound is when you leave a plant in a pot for too long and the roots become so mature in the pot that the plant doesn't grow as vigorously as it could if it had more room.
Okay.
You know, it kind of stops its development.
All right. All right. Well, that's it for today. Thank you very much for this mulching lesson. And I'm hyped about this treehouse and I'm hyped about your farm. But we came to the conclusion that there's too much to show on Benjamin's farm, so we'll have to come back. Thank you very much for watching Viking in the Jungle. If you like this video, you know what to do.
Sounds good.
Enjoy your day.
Peace out, y'all.
See you in the next one.